My name is Lukas Arellano, and I've helped hundreds of people ace interviews, and today I'm here to help you. Here are six steps you need to take to ace your interview. Step number 1, confidence is key. In this job market, you're probably a little desperate to land a job, but you can't show that card in your interview. You need to tell yourself, I'm personable, I'm driven, I'm skilled, I'm the perfect candidate that they need to hire. Look, you made it to this point in the interview process because you stood out from the other candidates, and they need to hire you. Something I always tell people is pretend you already landed the role, and 30 days down the line, you're looking back at today, the day of your interview. They have no idea that you were the person they were looking for. By speaking with confidence, you'll kind of lean back a little and they'll press in to want to hire you more. If you press in and you're desperate, begging them to get hired, they're going to fall back and be like, this dude's a red flag. I'll put it this way. Have you ever liked a guy or girl more because they were playing hard to get? Well, now is your chance to do the same in this situation. Step number 2. Here are 3 steps that you need to take to gather information on the company you're about to interview with. Number 1, the most effective way to do this is to speak with someone that already works there. You can collect all the data you need on the company alone and the interview process. Some of the questions you might ask them: what's your day-to-day like? What skills are required to succeed on the job? What's the interview process like? What was the hardest questions they ask you? Who's the right hiring manager to be reaching out to if you haven't got the interview yet? Who do they sell this to if it's a sales job? Or what worked for you? What do these hiring managers like specifically at this company? What can I do to stand out? Number 2, use ChatGPT and cross-reference their website or YouTube channel to pull information on that company. For sales positions, you can copy and paste their URL into ChatGPT and ask them, what companies do they sell this to? Who do they sell it to within the company? And what pain do they solve? And like I said, cross-reference that with either the person you're speaking with on the job or on their website or YouTube channel. Step number 3, review the job description. Make sure that you know what the day-to-day is going into this. And if they have any specifics about the company or who they sell this to, you need to know that as well and take note. Step number 3, prep your interview question and answers. You need to know the most common interview questions going into these job interviews before you even start your job hunt, specific to the industry you're entering. If you're looking for a sales job, I have all the most common interview question and answers in the link below for completely free, along with a community of 220 plus job seekers, live calls every other week. It's a community you need to land your job if you're looking to get into sales. If you don't know any of the most common interview questions, you can go on Glassdoor.com, look up the company you're interviewing with, click interviews and scroll down, and people will tell you the interview questions that they were asked, what the process is like and whatnot. Link to Glassdoor also in the description. Related to reviewing the job description, a lot of times it will say the traits that you need to succeed in this role, like we're looking for a driven, self-motivated individual, yada, yada, yada. Make sure you know those traits going into this so you can integrate them into your interview question and answers. A lot of times, if you're applying for the same role, the traits will remain the same. So if you do this once, you should be good for remaining interviews, but it's important to do this before every interview to see if there's anything specific that you can work in there. So when you're writing your interview question and answers, make sure that you use this framework to give the answers. I call it ACTS. Answer the question, give them an example, X is the example, and explain how that will pertain to you on the job. You always want to use a story to back up your claims. So here's an example of an interview question that you can use ACTS for and an answer on how to respond to the question. Tell me about a time that you failed and what you did with that failure. I actually see failure as a lesson and a chance to improve. When I was working in retail, a customer left the store frustrated because I couldn't answer their product questions. I reflected on the situation, took responsibility, studied the product catalog, and learned from experienced coworkers, with the mindset of being able to reflect on rejection. Instead of allowing it to deter me, I'll be able to succeed faster than anyone in this role. Since my level of inputs would be so high, I will inevitably get rejected more and ultimately learn faster. And make sure you practice these questions enough so that you don't sound scripted when they ask you these questions. You want to sound natural, use a lot of expressions. Step number 4, prepare questions for the end of the interview. The only wrong answer to the question, do you have any questions for us, is no. You don't have too much time to ask questions. It's typically the last 5 to 10 minutes that they'll give you, and it's important to throw in some questions that will make you stand out from others. Example, what's the ideal promotion track? What's the fastest you've seen someone get promoted? Why'd they get promoted so fast? Also throw in some questions to make sure this is where you want to work. Ask questions about the benefits, the culture. I actually have a video up here on how to ask those questions and what to ask. Now, it's important to throw the vetting questions and the questions in there to make you stand out from others, but you need to throw in these closing questions in every interview. Here they are. Number 1, if you were to move me forward to the next round of interviews, what can I expect? What can I do to prep? Number 2, I've spoken with this person at your company and read a couple case studies, but Are there any other resources you could send over or that I can look at that will help me get more familiar with your company and their products as I move through the interview process? Number 3, most people ask this question bluntly. Do you have any hesitations about moving me forward to the next round? And it's too abrupt and kind of cringy. You need to butter it up. I really, as I mentioned earlier, I take rejection and failure as a lesson to learn, and I'm truly an open book, so I'd really appreciate a truly honest answer here. Based on my resume and our conversation today, do you have any hesitations about moving me forward to the next round of interviews? And number 4, when can I expect to hear back? What this will allow you to do is if they tell you, I'll get back to you on Monday, you tell them, okay, if I don't hear anything back, I'll give you a call by Tuesday. And this will force them to follow up with you on Monday because they know you'll call them. And if they don't, you're going to call them and get an answer anyway. Step number 5, the pre-interview prep. Couple pro tips here. No coffee. You're going to be anxious. Stand, if it's virtual, it'll get the jitters out. 3, guys, I can't believe I have to tell you this, but shower. Please shower. Shave your face, be clean cut, be as hygienic as possible. If you're going in, brush your teeth, even though you should have done that in the morning anyway. Blow your nose at home, not in their office restroom. And wear the right outfit, guys. Even for Zoom interviews, I suggest wearing pants because I've heard of interviewers saying, hey, can I see what you're wearing? And they stand up there in their boxers, and it's this awful experience. So typically the rule of thumb when dressing for interviews is wear one step above what they wear on the job, never 2 above and never below. And I'll explain to you what that looks like now. So if they wear uniforms, wear smart casual clothes. If they wear smart casual clothes, wear business casual clothes. If they wear business casual clothes, wear business professional clothes. If they wear business professional, there's really no way you could updo that. And if you do, you'll probably be a weirdo. So just wear business professional. Here's a funny video that I put together to help visualize this.
How to dress for interviews.
I actually, for business, casual, and professional, yeah, both. I love Banana Republic. Even smart casual, they have some nice smart casual clothes. This is actually a banana shirt, believe it or not. Go to the outlet store. Everything's like 40 to 60% off there. And Nordstrom Rack obviously is also a great alternative, but you're going to have to do a little more digging to find something that fits you all the time. Banana Republic is super consistent. I love their clothes, super high quality, good price. Now, if you dress in a suit and tie, now, going back to my point earlier, if you go 2 steps above or 3 steps above of what they wear on the job, and you dress in a suit and tie for an in-and-out interview, they're going to think you're a weirdo and they're not going to hire you. Unless you get super lucky like the Step Brothers did.
Just looking to hire guys that I don't mind hanging out with for like 12 hours a day. You guys seem like cool guys. You got hair similar to mine. You wear tuxedos to the interview. That's funny. It's ironic. I get that. You're kind of underplaying the whole formality of it. I think that's funny as hell.
Step number 6. Make sure you do a mock interview with a friend or a coach. I say a friend or a coach because if you do this with your mom or your grandma, they're going to tell you, that was great, honey, you're going to get the job, even though if you did terrible. So it's best to do this with a coach that has interview experience so they can coach you on where you need to improve. Everything seems like a blur before the interview. You're focused on, what am I going to say? How am I going to introduce myself? How do I answer these questions? You're nervous, your heart's racing. And it's always after the interview that you're able to reflect and be like, damn, I should have said this. I shouldn't have said that. I should have said this better. So with the mock interview, you can get those bumps out the way so you can perform really well in the real one. It's also better to encourage your friend or coach to give you harsh advice rather than being too nice. You can never get too much feedback. Now, if you're looking to land a sales role, a BDR or SDR role in tech, I have a community that you've been looking for. It has 220 plus members, everything you need to land a tech job for free, and live calls every other week. So if you want to land your job and speed up this process, join us in the community below, and I'll see you on the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks.